Welcome to the castle. Not the original one. This is actually Kiddie Kingdom's King Cola's castle, where we'll be going through the entire place, showing you where you find Oswald. And there's a really big problem at the front door. This is the problem. They really want to keep you out, so those two missile launchers will more than likely do just that. They took me out in one of my first goes walking in here. So don't let them do that to you. Stepping over to the right here, you can find a ghoul riding one of the little kids things. And as we go over to a little cafe, we can stock up on some supplies. Get yourself the safe, anything in the cash registers, and all the souvenirs. Now this place is divided into three sections. There's the tower up there, which you can only gain access by going over the bridge and round there. And of course King Cola's court, which you will enter when you're fighting Oswald, as well as the roof of the castle itself, although it's considered outside, like just outside the world. So yeah, we could pop into the theatre, but I'll show you the other entrance, as I want to piece together a little story. Also, don't run too fast past this. Caps and a wooden crate full of goodies are there for the taking. Now, as we sprint along King Cola's castle, we can go into where Rachel resided. This is Oswald's girlfriend in the castle tower. Once inside, we can have a little look around where she would have resided. Going upstairs, you can get a cooler full of items, a bed if you needed some rest, and her little, accommodation. Dropping down, we've got Rachel's terminal. Now, it is a novice lock, which should be pretty easy to open. Our Watkins user logs, so let's read through. I got the part, the Princess Cherry part. Technically, Dad thinks I got an internship working with the Beverageers. At least I got a job working at Nuka-World, which means I can wait and get to know some of the stuff before applying. I mean, I love acting, but I still want to put that rather expensive organic chemistry degree to good use. My boyfriend Oswald and the rest of the gang passed out here in the tower after they threw me a party. All of us got drunk and came up with this ridiculous plan to take over the park if the war ever got bad, like nuclear bad. We all agreed, but instead of shaking on it, we did a round of shots. Here's to 2077. I hope it's a hell of a year. Oh, little do you know. Moving on up, we've got our defences set up and things are starting to look a little better. Thanks to my background, I've sort of become the unofficial doctor of our raggedy little bunch. Oswald has been so supportive and he's continued to manage this whole crisis like a real leader. I'm so proud of him. Whatever that horrible radiation storm did to us, everyone is having bad reactions, but there are others literally dying from it. I wish I could do more to help, but I'm an organic chemist, not a surgeon. I don't have the heart to tell people that they're dying in my arms, so I just keep it to myself and try and give them hope. The affliction. My good friend Fran succumbed to the affliction a few days ago and I've just been a wreck. Dean and Oswald boarded her up in a house before she tried to attack anyone, which I don't think I could have taken. Oswald stayed the night up here and just held me while I cried. I tried to apologise to him for falling apart like this when he needed me to be strong, but I knew her since elementary school. I couldn't hold it together any longer. I hate this place. Magic is real? There was a huge attack this week that pushed us all the way back to the castle gate. Just when we were about to fall back to the theatre, a bunch of the afflicted started crawling out of their houses and started helping us. But as our attackers were retreating, my body froze when I saw a stray bullet hit Dean and it looked like he was dead. But Oswald did something. This glow came out of his body, flowing like a wave, and suddenly Dean started breathing again. After the attack ended, we all looked at Oswald, who started muttering something about using real magic. Most of us didn't know what to think. Me, I don't care what the hell you call it. Maybe we can use it to cure the affliction. Either way, I gave him a huge kiss for saving Dean's life. Leaving to find a cure. We've tried every option we can think of, exhausted every option, and not even Oswald's powers seem to stop the affliction. There are only a handful of us left and we're running out of time. I didn't know what would get to us first, the raiders who moved into Nuka Town or the affliction. So that's it. I've talked it over with Oswald and he's going to stay in Kiddie Kingdom to keep everyone safe while I go find a cure. I felt awful leaving everyone behind, especially Oswald, but I really have no other choice. I'm going to head over to the town of Brabberton, near the park, and start there. It's a huge gamble, but it might pay off. King Cola's cast, as you can see, included quite a number of characters that are mentioned in terminals throughout Kiddie Kingdom, such as Fran, Bradley, Herman, and Rachel, even Dean as well in that one. When it came to the other cast, you can see that Oswald was actually the headliner for the magic show, with Dean and Rachel being assistants to him. And then the Cola Clowns included everyone, including Mitchell, who had all the guns. We'll learn more about him when we go into the tunnels. There's an expert lock safe. You can use the terminal, of course, to open it. And there's not much else here other than the exit. Okay, now that we've went out this side, we can gain the alternative entrance into the theatre. Not only that, it's got a cool Easter egg around the side. So enter via that door, or keep walking around. Now, be very careful when you reach this point. A few rad scorpions will pop out. They're not the problem, though. The makeshift bomb behind the cigar box, that's your problem. And he's activated when the monkey notices you're here. Although for some reason the monkey hasn't decided to activate. Maybe he doesn't detect me. Either way, it's kind of good for us. Wonder if I open this. No, he has decided he wants to be neutral. Good choice, monkey. Good choice. Into the King's Court. Once you do, you'll have to battle Oswald, but you can see one of the best environmental storytelling I've ever seen. Some day tripper and another woman at the other side with pre-war money. That is just awesome. I think it's one of the best things in the entire game, is just seeing an actual drug dealing taking place. Behind the counter here are plenty of cash registers for you to have a little peruse through. You might find something useful. Both doors enter into the theatre. Once you're inside, he'll say about the final show beginning. He'll appear. I actually don't know who the female is. I'm assuming it's just pre-recorded, because there's obviously no one else alive with him. And Oswald will appear.
I didn't think you'd make it this far.
So, he'll talk to you for a bit. You can fight him. And then you can clear around everything else. Out to the back, you can get some teddies with some bowler hats on. It's quite a cool wee sight. He gives a bit of a monologue. You can get a Nuka lunchbox and the Nuka-Berry recipe in here. Now, once you've finished all that, head on up to the roof. Now, this won't function until you beat him, and you probably have to search the other two locations in order to actually unlock that part. He also revives all the ghouls, so that's another thing that you've got to take into account. And no, you can't take the throne, sadly. Alright, so let me show you what happens when you get to that point. Once you get upstairs, you'll be confronted with him again. He is a fairly long boss battle, but once you kill him, at least permanently, it might take a few more tries as he bops about. Eventually he stops bopping about. It does take a few tries, and I'll show you why it's worthwhile. After about 6 or 7 times, you eventually can kill Oswald the Outrageous, giving you the Magician's Tuxedo. Now, killing him is the only way to get this. If you do any of the other peaceful charisma checks, he will leave and you don't have to fight him anymore. He also carries a large amount of cocktails. But a password, his top hat gives you a 10% movement speed, and he'll give you the top hat plus his Sword of Wonder, which ignores 30% of the target's damage and energy. It's a pretty decent one. It's electrified, so, you know, you've got that going for you. Now, I am going to show you how to get the peaceful option without even having a charisma check. But first, let's read his terminal, because then we can get Oswald's side of things. And on the system access, you can actually turn the mist sprayers off, which ideally you do before you raise the flag. User logs for Oswald Oppenheimer. Things are finally stable. It's been about 50 years since the bombs fell. We've had some large groups come and go. Usually we've managed to scare them off or use the radiation sprayers to get rid of them. Seems like most of the attackers are just terrified of the clown makeup. It's kind of sad. They used to bring people so much laughter. On the whole, things are good. We have had plenty of food, water, and even partial power when we need it, which I'd imagine is a lot more than others have. Even the mutation from the radiation storms hasn't been that bad. We learned to cope with it, and I'm glad Rachel is still alive. I think she's the only thing keeping me together. Can't sleep. We've had to board up another person today. That's over 10 in the past year alone. Trying to keep everyone organised and keep spirits up since Kenneth, Mitchell and Herman are gone. But there are some days I just don't want to even get out of bed. Some have started talking about the afflicted and putting them out of their misery. But we put a stop to that talk pretty fast. We've been here a long, long time now. And these just aren't people I survived the war with. They're our new family. We've got to find a way to help them. Was that real magic? There was a big attack today and Dean got hit by a stray bullet. The thought of losing another one of us caused me to snap, and suddenly it was through as though energy was literally flowing through my body. Then Dean just shot up and gasped for air. I healed him, but I've no idea how. After the attack, it hit me. Was this some sort of mutation, or was it real magic? I mean, given the circumstances, who could tell the difference? Even if we had a scientific explanation, does that really make it less magical? Regardless of what I want to call it, maybe I can use my powers to help the afflicted. New neighbours. Some big gang took out that group in Yucatan this week. The gang looks aggressive, so we've decided to leave them be for now. It's too bad. We almost decided to make contact with the traders there, but now it looks like we've missed our chance. Rachel is talking about one or both of us breaking from the group to try and find a cure somewhere else. But if two of us leave, I don't know if there will be enough leadership to keep this place together. After Rachel left, it's been over a year since she left, and still no word. At home, there's nobody left. No one but me and the afflicted, and what gang of raiders next door. At first, I was wishing that Rachel had stayed behind, but I kept coming to the conclusion that she did the right thing. No matter how much it hurt, she had to leave for the good of us all. The only problem is I don't know much longer I can hold the castle. The walls are crumbling. And I don't know how much longer I can hold them up. I miss you, Rachel. So, obviously Oswald turned into a glowing one, and that's what gave him the power to save Dean. Obviously, they're all dead by the time you even get to this point, so they're not of much use to you. And once you open up this door with Oswald's key, you can activate the flagpole, and that will allow you to pick which gang gets Kiddie Kingdom. I gave mine to the operators, but let me know who you give yours to. If you go around here, one of these has a chem box hiding around the side. I don't know if I've jumped over it, but I'm pretty thorough, so maybe it was this one. Anyway, check all the turrets, and one of them, it was the first one. I don't know how I jumped over that. Yeah, so that will be Kiddie Kingdom secured. However, there is another option to get Oswald to peacefully go away, which I will show you up here in Brabberton very quickly. Once you're over in the town of Brabberton, head over to this house to the east. Inside, you will find Rachel and her holotape, although Rachel will be wearing some clothes, and the holotape will be sitting here. Pick it up, and you can have a listen to it, but either way, you can give it to Oswald, removing a charisma check in order to end things peacefully, and he will walk away knowing what occurred with Rachel. If you want to know, in short, she couldn't find a cure, realised it was a dead end, and took her own life before the affliction could turn her into a feral ghoul. And that is King Cola's castle, all wrapped up. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.